We're going to be comparing fractions today. Keep in mind that every single one of your fractions on your classwork today and tomorrow are going to have either the same denominator or the same numerator. In today's game, you guys are going to be presented different fractions. As soon as those fractions are presented, whoever is showing this video, please pause so that students have a chance to demonstrate which direction they think that the mouth should open. And whenever you're dealing with fractions and you're comparing them, you always want to make sure that the mouth is opening up toward your larger fraction because you always want to eat more. You're pretending that you're one of those hungry hippos, or you're an alligator who is just very hungry. And I want you guys to practice today reading those fractions in the form of a sentence. So if we look down here at this example, we have 2/4 and 4/4, and they have that symbol in the middle. So how you would read that is 2/4 is less than 4/4 because the mouth is opening towards the larger fraction. So I'm going to read the first two, pause the video, and then have students read these fractions, and then you can press play to hear me keep reading. 1/3 is less than 2/3. 6/8 is greater than 3/8. Pause the video. 2/4 equals 1/2. 4/4 is greater than 2/4. 2/6 is less than 2/3. So the first set of fractions that we're going to look at is fractions that have the same numerator. So in our first example, we have 2/4 and 2/8. The numerators, or the top number, is the same, and that denominator is different. And I think of the denominator as meaning how many people I'm going to share a whole cake with. I can either share that cake with 4 people, or I can share that cake with 8 people. And with those visuals down here below, these rectangles, it helps me see that if I'm sharing with 4 people, I'm going to get a much bigger chunk than if I have to share with 8 people. Because the more people that you share with, the smaller your slices are going to be. So in this example, 2/4 is greater than 2/8 because I'm having to share with less people. So let's do some examples of these together. 3/8 and 3/5. My numerators are the same. So again, I'm thinking of that denominator as being how many people I'm going to share with. Think about when you're playing video games. Would you rather share your video game time with 8 people or 5 people? Well, I would rather share with 5 people because that means I get more time playing games. So 3/8 is less than 3/5. Try this one on your own. 2/4 and 2/6. Compare those two fractions and pause the video. If you said 2/4 is greater than 2/6, you're correct because sharing with 4 people gives you more than sharing with 6 people. Let's compare 4/5 and 4/8. Pause the video. If you said 4/5 was greater than 4/8, you're correct because I would be getting 4 out of 5 slices of pizza. But if I have 4/8, that means I get 4 slices of pizza still, but I have to share with 8 other kiddos, and that gives me a smaller slice. You're also going to have fractions that have the same denominator. And in this case, it's like saying, and when I'm comparing 2/4 and 3/4, that's like me thinking about sharing with 4 people or sharing with 4 people. I'm sharing with the same number of people. So in these cases, I can either get 2 slices of pizza or I can get 3 slices of pizza. The slices are the same size because I'm sharing with the same number of people. So I would read this as 2/4 is less than 3/4. Let's compare 2/6 and 4/6. My denominators are the same now, so I'm sharing with the same number of people each time. So I can either get 2 slices of pizza or I can get 4 slices of pizza. Which one is going to give me more? In this case, 2/6 is less than 4/6. Compare 2/10 and 5/10. Pause the video. If you said 2/10 is less than 5/10, you're correct. Because I'm sharing with the same number of people, I can either get 2 slices of cake or I can get 5 slices of cake. 7/8 compared to 2/8. I'm sharing with the same number of people. Which one is going to give me more pieces of cake. Pause the video. If you said 7/8 is greater than 2/8, you're correct. Let's compare 7/7 and 1/7. Pause the video. If you said 7/7 is greater than 1/7, you're correct. And if you said that 7/7 equals 1 whole, you get double the points. Congratulations. On your classwork today, you're going to have a mix of both of these types of problems. Either your fractions are going to have the same denominator or the same numerator. There are strategies you can use to help you. Let's review the butterfly strategy first. So let's do 1/4 versus 1/6. I have the same numerator. So since my denominators are different, that is like saying I'm going to share with a different number of people. I can share my cake with 4 people, or I can share it with 6 people. So with the butterfly method, we're going to cross multiply the denominator of one fraction with the numerator of the opposite fraction. 4 times 1 is 4, and you write that answer on top of your fraction because that's going to be your antenna. And then we're going to cross multiply the numerator and denominator of the other parts of our fraction. 1 times 6 is 6, and that again goes on top because that's my antenna. So I'm going to compare my two antennas, 6 and 4. Well, 6 is a larger number than 4, and since 6 is above the fraction 1/4, I would put my symbol facing 1/4. My mouth would open towards 1/4. And I would read that as 1/4 is greater than 1/6. Another strategy you can use to help you is using the rectangle method. So let's compare 2/4 versus 4/4. In this case, my denominators are the same. So I'm either sharing with 4 people or I'm going to share with 4 people. So I'm going to draw one large rectangle and cut it in half. Remember, we do this because we want both of our rectangles to be the same size, and this is our best bet to do that. I'm going to cut my top rectangle in 2/4 because that's what this denominator is. 4 is even, so my first cut can go in the middle. Half of 4 is 2, and 2 is also even. So I can cut each half in half again. And since my other denominator is 4 again, for my bottom rectangle, I can just bring those lines straight down. So I'm going to represent 2/4 on the top rectangle. I'm going to shade in 2 out of 4 chunks. I'm now going to represent 4/4 and shade in 4 out of 4 chunks on my bottom rectangle. And I can see that this rectangle has more shaded in. So I would say 2/4 is less than 4/4. Another example would be to do 2/8 versus 2/4, where my numerators are the same. I'm going to draw those rectangles again. Draw one big one, split it in half. I'm going to split my bottom rectangle into fourths first. Again, you know how much to split it into based on your denominator, whatever your denominator is. So I'm going to cut this one into 4ths. And since this denominator is 8, my top rectangle needs to have 8 chunks. I'm going to use my 4ths lines to help me out. So I'm going to split my top rectangle into 4ths. And then to double that, I'm going to cut each section in half. So now I can represent 2/8 and 2/4. And I can see that this bottom rectangle again has more shaded in, so I would say 2/8 is less than 2/4. So these are strategies that you can use to check your answers on your classwork today.